Korea. Daniel took real good care of me, introduced me to many things. And one of the things I enjoyed the most was the culture. The culture of South Korea was wonderful, beautiful, experienced that. And it better enabled me to welcome and to interact with the Korean American community here in our area, our northern New Jersey, New York area, because especially here in Bergen County, we have a large percentage of Asian Americans, and predominantly that Asian group, in my opinion, is probably Korean. But as you know, the Asian community comprises of a lot of different Asian backgrounds, even Indian, Chinese, you name it, that takes a lot. But there are many, many Korean Americans here in our area, especially here in Bergen County, and nothing serves me better in my life than to help grow these young Korean American students into not only citizens that are going to better themselves, but better this society. And I know that the parents of these students, you that are here tonight, and many others that I had the pleasure to meet, really care like any parent would about their child's and their child's future, and you want only the best, and that's really why you are here, and I am sure we all share that same feeling about our children and our society. But tonight is a night that we introduce our summer internship program. We start to kick it off. This time I'd ask some of our board members to please just rise and be acknowledged, because if it wasn't for these individuals here, this program wouldn't even be standing here today. Let's give a great round of applause. Tell a little bit about myself before I ask some of our special guests to introduce themselves. Like I said, I am a police chief, and I've been in law enforcement for going on 34 years, and the last almost 24 of those 34, I've been privileged to be the chief of police. And I was born and raised in my community of Brook, and I have a passion to serve people, to protect and serve like any law enforcement officer, like any public official should. And I can tell you that it's inspiring for me to see a great crowd here tonight, and the crowds that have been here in past years' internship programs. We've conducted internship programs in my police department, personally, one-on-one, and I can tell you that some of these students have grown into outrageous citizens, not only in their own communities, but in the academic fields that lie ahead for them. So bless them and their families for what they've been through, and bless each and every one of you for participating and being a part, or at least encouraging your young students, your young children to be involved in the program. So tonight we have a lot of very special guests, and my first special guest that I would introduce and ask him to come up here and say a few words about himself. It's very easy for me to introduce this special guest because he happens to be my boss. This person is the mayor of my community of Brook. This mayor has been a police officer, worked in Brook in the police department of Brook for many years, and retired after my same 34 years of service. And he retired and became the mayor of the community. And the mayor of the community is basically like the CEO of a major corporation. The town of Brook may not be as large as New York City or some other cities here in New Jersey, but I can tell you our municipal budget exceeds $50 million. So the CEO of this $50 million corporation is known with my great friend, the Mayor Robert White. Mayor?
Thank you, Chief. It's a privilege to be here. It's always a privilege to be at this function here. This is the first of many get-togethers that we'll have with this summer internship program. It's a fabulous program, and I want to thank Daniel Song and the board of directors that do such a great job organizing this program. I also want to thank Chief Kugler as well for his participation. And I want to go back and just say that I don't have a script, so when I don't have something, notes in front of me, it's a dangerous thing because I may just go all over the place. I'm gonna try to keep it short. I'm Bob White. I'm the mayor of Saddlebrook, and as the chief said, I was a police officer before I was mayor for 34 years, and I ended up being the deputy chief. That was my final position. The township decided before I retired, they abolished the position, so there's no longer a deputy police chief. But that was done as far as changing the table organization. So I guess I'm going to be the last deputy chief ever in Saddlebrook, unless we bring it back. But so Bob was my boss in the police department, and now I'm his boss. We have a really good relationship, and I was telling to the people at my table that you know what, it's never been about who's in charge and who's over who, and you know what, I think it's important that the chief mentioned it, and I was asked that question as well by the members at my table there. You know, why did I become the mayor? And it's all about service, and you know, it's about service to others. And I think that is the most important thing. You know, not who's in charge and who's gonna use their authority and exert it on people. It's got to be from the heart that you want to serve people. And I did that for 34 years on the police department, and I loved every minute of it. I really was. I was truly blessed to become a police officer because I feel that it's something that I was meant to do. I was destined to do that, and I did it for 34 years. And now I feel the same way about mayor. I feel that this job was meant for me. You know, I know there's a lot of people that probably say, "Oh, I wish you didn't feel that way. I wish you wasn't the mayor." But politics is it's a funny business, and you're never going to please everybody. And that bothers me sometimes. You know, it does, because sometimes people are going to throw rocks at you. You make a decision, and you know, to them it's not the right decision. It might be the right decision overall, but to that person, if it affects them in a negative way, or they perceive it to be that way, you know, they might not be happy. But overall, you know what, it bothers me only because I want to do the right thing for everybody, but you're not going to accomplish that. And as a leader, the thing is, you want to try to please as many people as you can, but it's important, your integrity, you got to do the right thing. So anyway, let's get back to this program. It's a very valuable program. You know what, I've been involved, I think this is my 3rd year. This is the 4th year doing it, but I don't think I was involved the first year. I was too busy getting acclimated to being the mayor, but I've been involved ever since. And it's a tremendous program, it really is. I think a lot of the students, and I can feel there's a little apprehension here tonight, you know, what's this gonna be about, especially the parents, you know, what do I get myself involved in? But let me tell you something, when you see the transformation from this now and by the end, and when they come that graduation and they do a speech, that's part of the program, it's really unbelievable. I mean, I can remember the last 3 speeches. One of the students did it on police corruption. Another did it on gun control, which was certainly a relevant topic. And somebody else did something on drugs and how it affects the crime rate. But these were, I mean, well thought out, I mean, intellectual, you know, writings and papers that they did, and they had to come up and they had to talk about it, and they had to answer questions. And they just, I mean, it was on par with any college paper or what a college student would prepare. So I don't know, I just think it's a great thing, and it's good for, I think, the Asian, the Korean community, because it gets you to understand more about law enforcement in the United States, because the Koreans, Korean culture is different. Korean police is much different, I imagine. I don't know too much about it, but about Korean, police, but it's much different. So you learn a lot, and the big thing is you interact with all kinds of people, And it's very important that we as Americans, that we all come together, okay? And really love each other and be kind to each other. That's the Reverend, you did a great job, by the way, on your invocation here. And Amy, that was the first time I ever heard somebody on a flute do the national anthem. It was tremendous. So anyway, I've talked enough. I really rambled, but I hope to get to know each and every one of you a little bit better tonight, or maybe over the course of time. But thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.